Hello Year 2s, this is a very quick little tutorial on how to do a site survey. I'm not quite sure what information you'll have tomorrow when we arrive at the church, so I thought it'd be quite good just to establish a few principles which I think are important for surveying. I've done a few sketches here just to illustrate my ideas. They're just very rough, just to set you in the right direction. I have with me 3 pages of A4 and on each one of them I drew a plan, section and an elevation. I started off with the plan, so look at your site, understand the rough graphic layout, if you want to describe it like that, of your project, of the building. Set the main dimension, so you know it's a large rectangle. Draw that into scale if you can do it at 1:50. Set out that kind of basic principles in a light pencil, and I used a mechanical pencil as such, and as you can see I set very quickly, just roughly by hand, what that outline would be. And then I start to describe the detail a bit more specifically, so I then took a 0.5 pen, so something like this, and I drew once I wanted to start to find more information, so I knew that there was a kink back in the window, that the window was set in that particular location, and so I start to draw with a pen on top of the pencil, or more thicker in the pencil, so I can come and do a bit more information here if I wanted, just by adding the pencil job afterwards, so I can somehow give more definition when I'm looking at a particular area. So generally set out the overall principle and then start to work on those principles a bit more in detail in the particular location of your drawing. Once you establish that, then you also want to establish the elevation. So the elevation is in the same manner. You have an outline form, try and get that to scale and in a proportion, and then what you want to do is start to work on the particular detail, isn't it? So you come, for instance, at the window, and you start looking at what is the contour of the window, where's the hole, if you want, in the wall, where's the masonry, where does the timber start, so start trying to define those principles, and you can then also do a more detailed 1 to 5 sketch, of whatever might be happening here, on another page. So then you can just say, the detail D, if you want, on another page of A4, and you do a 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, just describing what's the relationship between the stone, the masonry, the timber. Once you set one window up, you'll probably realize that all the other windows are similar, so you don't maybe need to draw them all in detail, but you must of course make sure where they are set in the plan. So one thing, you need to make sure that your correspondence between the elevation and the plan meet. So where you have a window here, make sure you have a running dimension that captures the location. A running dimension is something like this, so a straight line that you want to measure, and you give at every single important point you give a number, so you once you get back, you're able to set that accurately in the computer room by hand. Same thing for here. Another bit of information which is quite crucial is when you're taking measurement of something, and the way it works is I usually work up with someone, so someone will be holding the measuring tape and someone will be doing the drawing. You set the drawing out, and then the way I find it works best is I write the number in relation to the line. So for example, this number 900 is related to that line, because sometimes you don't quite know which number relates to which line. So for example, that one is obviously written against that page there, so I rotate the drawing when I'm measuring on site, or when I'm getting the information from my pair, I write it against there, so I always know what that number relates to. You want to work on the small numbers as well as you want to work on the big ones and the kind of general overall numbers, so that both the small one and the big one you can try and make sure you lose less of information as possible. When it comes here to a section, so I've laid my section down like that because I related it from the plan. I then taking a section, and then the same as I took the elevation, so you lie them down against each other. And here on the same thing, same principle, so you have an understanding of the form, understanding of the thickness, you start sketching that out in pencil, and then when you start to understand things a bit more in detail, start defining them by pen or thicker pencil. And then things like this, it's very incomplete. Obviously, I don't have a building, I'm just making this up as I go. I would then, on another page, either call it a detail E I'm drawing elsewhere, or I might even do it on this part of the drawing here, so I can get more information as possible. And all this together composes the survey drawings, and these need to be reliable. You need to try and be as accurate as possible when on site, and make sure you're looking at the building best way as possible to get this information. Good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow.